Okay, me turning my Bluetooth keyboard shuts the camera off. Okay, so anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This Super Blind Man here, and I wanted to hit you up with some more funny voices and do some impersonations again. I haven't done this for a while, so I thought, well, let's get her done, right? Let's get her done. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I'll tell you something else. Um, and I tend to go off on these funny things. I will either send my friends voice clips on Voxer, if you've ever heard of Voxer. I absolutely love the app. It gives me a lot of opportunity to express myself, and I really love it. If not, of course, I will do this on Facebook. And a friend of mine and I were doing something yesterday that I thought I had to bring up here. I don't watch like Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff very often. I'm not necessarily a huge anime fan. Um, like I said, necessarily. Do I sit around and watch them all day? No. I think a good anime here and there is fine, but they tend to kind of get on my nerves. It might be it's probably any number of factors. I'm partially blind. It might just be because of flashing colors and things like that. I don't know. But they do tend to kind of just suck after a while. For me, for those of you out there who like them, okay. But anyway, I thought I would entertain you with some voices that that I constantly encounter in almost every anime. Right? In almost every anime, you have like the bad guy, the classic cliched bad guy. And it might just be uh, in the translation, like it's just some dude comes over and does a voiceover, which I'm sure has to happen for it to be Americanized in a lot of these. But you always end up with this dude that's like, I'll tell you what, by the time I'm done with you, Gohan, Blowhan, you'll be working the street corner for $14 a pop. What do you think about that? And then, of course, this guy is always the super nerdy type, you know, who responds.
Well, I don't care about that. Why? Because I gather Dragon Balls while playing with my balls. I'm totally secure in my manhood.
And then, of course, you've got the girl, the super squeaky, and I'll try to give it an attempt here.
You really shouldn't provoke him like that. He's gonna end up killing everybody.
We should get it on while I'm hard.
I'm talking about the destruction of the entire universe and you're hard?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then she's always screaming through the whole episode. Ah! Okay, that was real stupid, but either way, I mean, you get the point, right? But yeah. I had to throw some of those out there because it's the same thing you encounter in like every anime, dude. I mean, every single time. But anyway, oh, let's see. Of course, I just did Larry the Cable Guy because he's just the bomb and everything else, dang old stuff. And I tell you what, and I just go out the old lake there, and I freaking totally got a skeeter bite on my penis, and next thing I know, I'm scratching away. I've got a friend looking over at me. It's like, what the hell going on? I'm like, I got a skater in my pater, and I'm whacking it off. Hey, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's funny. Which I like Larry the Cable Guy. I don't know. Everyone's opinion tends to vary on some of these great comedians, and whether or not they're great comedians or not, right? Larry the Cable Guy is interesting because he isn't really him. Obviously, his real name's Daniel something or other, and a great guy. Obviously, the alter ego made him who he is, and that's great. I mean, I think everybody had a famous alter ego in some way, but that was a character, not who they were, or defined their character in that sense, like defined them as a person, you know. And that's the neat thing about Larry the Cable Guy, is that he is one of those people who is famous as a character rather than for a character. Richard Pryor used to do that one guy, and I, for the life of me, I can't remember that character's name, but he would get on stage and yeah, well, let me tell you something else. You get that kind of. It was funny. I don't know, the old timer kind of guy voice to him, and yeah, it was funny as heck. That was funny. But then again, that was a character he portrayed, not who he was known for. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's known for him, not for a character. So I'm a huge fan of all those guys. I think one of my favorite comedians, if I were to say my favorite comedians of all time, if I were to throw that out there, I think my favorite comedians of all time would have to be people like Robin Williams, um, who was a huge inspiration to me. I mean, I think that's probably fairly obvious as you see my videos. He was my hero. I was very devastated when he died, and especially because of how he died. That actually that really screwed me up. I wouldn't have thought he would be the type to kill himself, and that really actually it really messed with my head. I was like, wow, I can't believe you gave up, and it really screwed me up in the head. But I'll be honest with you, it's not like I don't understand what that there was something more than that going on. I'm not upset anymore, but at the time I was like, what the heck, dude, but the more you get into his life, you realize it really wasn't giving up necessarily. And I think in a way he was wanting to check out while he was still a legend, you know. And you bring up that same subject with Kurt Cobain of Nirvana. I honestly do not believe the man killed himself. I really don't. But uh, if you look at who he was as a person, he, obviously was gone at the perfect time in his life. He was, as he is right now, he's an absolute legend, you know. So checking out at the age he did um, left him more than he could have been if he had continued to be alive. So I think that maybe that was how Robin Williams analyzed it and said, yeah, if I leave right now, I've had a career that is most fulfilling, that is absolutely incredible, and so I think that probably is how he looked at it. So I could be wrong, but I don't know. But he was always one of my favorites, and certainly my largest inspiration in life, and just so full of life and so full of zeal all the time. I mean, you couldn't stop the guy, and pretty fascinating. George Carlin was also one of my all-time favorites, and it's because he had a lot to say, and rather than say it and be, if you will, a an out and out protester of things, and a go and uh, serve in huge massive rallies against the government and all this. um, he clearly loved this country for all that it is, and profited from all that it is, but had a lot to say about the way we do things in this country. But he never said it out and out. And that's that's the greatest gift that man had, was the ability to put something into a joke, and you know and roll off with it as a joke, and still have something profound to say, and you knew it. And that's what made him so great. Like when I just love that. The one about the traffic accident's my favorite. Matter of fact, you can go in here in YouTube and look that up. Type in George Carlin traffic accident, and you'll come across it.
Well, last week I either ran over a sheep or I ran over a small man wearing a sheepskin coat. And I don't know, 'cause I didn't stop to check.
Well, that was a crappy Carlin. I apologize about that. It was kind of okay, but no, it's not quite. But anyway, and I love that, how he rolled what he felt, and what he saw going on around him in the world into very exquisitely crafted jokes. The man was a genius. I mean, an absolute genius. I really miss him. I wish I could have went and seen him live. Another one of my favorites is Ron White. I am a huge fan of Ron White, more than anyone in the Blue Collar Comedy tour. Of course, I love Jeff Foxworthy and Bill Engvall. I think they're great comedians. But to be honest with you, I really like Ron White. In that group, I would say he's my favorite. In that group, I guess, and since I mentioned him earlier, I'd say Larry the Cable Guy is actually my least favorite of that group. If I chose to go see somebody, it would probably be Bill Engvall, actually, in the group outside of Ron White. Like I said, I'm a huge Ron White fan, so I would have to say that outside of Ron White, I'd probably go see Bill Engvall. He's been one of my favorites. I just like the way he explains things, and he's funny as heck. But yeah, I really enjoy those comedians who have the skill to relay what they're feeling and thinking in unique ways. And Ron White's always been like that too, and I actually really enjoyed what he had to say about Robin Williams, and about how he had helped him with a little bit of forming up some of his material, and just was being a really great guy to him, and he didn't know him. And I thought, well, that kind of sounds like Robin Williams to me. I mean, I think that guy probably would be the first guy to just sit down with you no matter who you are, and say, yeah, I've been there, I know what you're going through, dude, you're not alone, and I'll help you out. But either way, so I guess of my favorite comedians, I would have to say those guys are it. And I know I was supposed to do some voices here, but I say, Dan, what the hell you doing with my rubber vagina, boy? You better put that down before you catch yourself a disease. Now I tell you, well, but come on now, give me that back now. No, don't you a chicken? You're no kind of chicken hawk, boy. You're just a chicken. Now get out over the. Come on now, to get on back down over the own pen. Yeah, give me back, boy. How do you think you're doing now, son? Anyways. So there you go. I'll leave you with a little foghorn leghorn, huh? What about that? Alright. So, thanks for tuning in. And, of course, so, go check out my other videos. And if you like it, push like. And, leave a comment or something. I don't know. I mean, come on. Do something. Make yourself useful, will you?
Come on now, boy. Go ahead and click that like button. If you like what I come out with, son, why don't you hit that subscribe button too? That'll really help you out there, boy.